everyone. Welcome to the Trucking Tower podcast. I'm very excited to be joined today by Nick Sallis, who is the Chief Operating Officer at Fleet Drive 360. How are you doing today, Nick?
I'm doing great, Andy. Thank you for having us on the show.
Absolutely. I was looking forward to talking with you. I understand you're getting ready for a 12-hour endurance event tonight. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so group of buddies and I have this thing we call CSOP events, completely stupid and utterly pointless. And it's just doing hard things for the sake of doing hard things. It's a lot of early mornings and late nights training when the family's sleeping. But we start at 6 p.m. tonight. We've got a 45-hour workout every hour on the hour. It's running, body weight exercises, calisthenics. We're going to do a half marathon between 3 and 5 a.m. And then we finish as the sun's coming up with breakfast and prayer, and then off to be husbands and fathers.
Awesome, man. That is so cool. And
Yeah,
kudos.
fun and dumb, but hey, we'll have a good time.
There's got to be a lot of training involved with getting ready for that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A lot, like I said, early mornings and late nights, because husband and father first, and you don't want to give up family time to do personal endeavors, but it's worth it.
Awesome. That is so cool. So today you and I are going to be talking about streamlining the compliance process for carriers and drivers. I was recently introduced to you, and I was looking forward to having you on the show with me today to talk about this awesome solution for carriers and drivers. So just to kick things off, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, True Diligence. If you're looking to streamline your background checking and get expertise from a company with 29 years in the business and over 1,100 clients, be sure and click on the link below. So, Nick, just to give our audience a little background about you. So who were you surrounded with? Who inspired you to do what you do today?
Well, I spent 15 years in and around the logistics industry, both on the shipper side and the importer side. We've utilized LTL, intermodal, dedicated services. I spent a little while shipping oversized loads and heavy haul. And then I was introduced to our ownership group, and these owners, they've got a variety of businesses that are in this trucking space, one of which is a multi-truck carrier that they've been running for a number of years. Now, they've been through all the popular kids at school and have been unhappy with the compliance offerings they had. One of them also happens to own a development company, and they just decided that they could build a better system on their own. So Fleet Drive was born out of necessity by truckers, and that's kind of what inspired me, is the grassroots nature of the solution. It was built to solve our problems, not just as something to sell. And the passion that our team has because of the nature of how this product was built is just, it's palpable. It's just really cool to be surrounded by people that care.
Absolutely. That is really cool. So you saw a need, you created a solution, you utilize it and deploy it, basically.
Yeah, and I mean, as they got to putting this thing together, they said, wow, man, this thing's got legs. We're not the only ones that need this. We could sell this, and this really solves a problem in the industry.
Absolutely. I've got real similar experiences with what we do as a company. Did things for ourselves to help ourselves, and then friends said, hey, would this work? And so we just kept on going, right? And yeah, it's fun to solve problems. So
what do they say? Necessity is the father of invention.
Absolutely.
I know I murdered that quote, but something around there.
Exactly. No, I think that's it. Yeah, absolutely. Necessity is the mother of invention. Yeah. So you see a need, you put something together to solve it, and lo and behold, sometimes there's a market, right? And in your case, there's a big market. I know there's about 3.9 million big rigs in America alone. So there's certainly a big market. Sounds like you're solving a need there as well. So very cool.
Well, and it's not just the big trucking companies, but really anyone that relies on logistics services. So furniture companies, construction supply companies, anyone that's moving a product from point A to point B is beholden to these FMCSA regulations, whether or not they're doing it for hire. So it really is a vast amount of people that need help, and we're trying to reach them.
Absolutely. So on that front, what would you say are 2 or 3 of the key challenges that you're seeing out there that are facing companies today?
Well, if you were to Google the top reasons carriers go out of business, you'll consistently see compliance in those top 3 to 5. Now, cash flow, poor management, no collection strategies, these are other things that you'll see in there. But with respect to compliance, 95% of safety audits result in violations. Of those violations, 65% of them are related to record keeping. There's significant fines, out of service orders, lost revenue. And Andy, the frustrating part of all this, it's 100% preventable.
Right.
Now, it's difficult to maintain files as you scale. So many carriers are still using paper files. They're using Excel. The onboarding process is cumbersome. And add that with driver turnover being at an all-time high and regulations changing as new technologies come into the market. Every carrier here listening knows that an idle truck is lost revenue. So we've got one client, he's got 900 drivers. He spends 3 to 4 hours a week sending emails to his drivers just to get documents updated. Hey, your medical card's about to expire. Your license is about to expire. Like, what would you do, Andy, if I could give you 3 to 4 hours of productive time back every week?
Right. I'd probably do things to drive more business and revenue.
And the last piece of this is drug and alcohol is really complex. The penalties for making mistakes are very severe. Third-party companies are expensive. And in a lot of cases, you hire a third-party company, you're paying for a year for a driver that might only last for 6 months, and that money's gone. The other issue is you don't have immediate access to your files. You're waiting on someone else and really depending on someone else to do their job correctly so that you don't get in trouble. And that lack of control, I know for a lot of business owners, is scary and it's frustrating.
Right. Absolutely. So on the flip side of that, in terms of success, what are 2 or 3 key things to success in overcoming the challenges?
So we like to tell people to outsource the effort, but not the expense or the control. We think carriers should combine in-house labor and technology. They solve the problem in a coordinated manner. And there's so many manual processes that are easily automated using good technology. That'll allow them to spend time in areas that add value rather than living in an inefficient system. The next point we say is either begin with a good foundation or recognize you're in a bad spot right now and just rip the Band-Aid off and get organized right now. There's no better time to get started. Same thing, we talk about fitness, we talk about New Year's resolutions. Why wait? Just get started now.
Right.
Digitize your documents during onboarding, establish a good system of maintaining your files, and then create some system of alerts to let you know when you need to pay attention to something. We like to say that compliance isn't very sexy. It's certainly not going to make you any money, but it can cost you your business.
Right. Absolutely. No, it costs a lot of things, right? Fines, lawsuits, various things. Yeah, it can be extremely costly.
And that's
So,
where our system comes in, is using the Fleet Drive program and software platform. You can hire and onboard drivers. You can digitally maintain all your documents. You can build your driver files. You can monitor the mandated drug and alcohol testing, and you can do it in one place at a really significant cost and time savings. You don't have to have 4 or 5 different vendors juggling paper files. Files are in the cabs of a truck. It's in somebody's house. It's nice to have everything in one place that you can pull up your cell phone at any point and access any document.
right. Absolutely. Sounds like you guys are streamlining things substantially there.
Yes, sir. Then it goes back to, the way so many of us were raised, right? Keep it simple, stupid. Technology can be scary and it can sound scary, but it doesn't have to be complex. A simple solution done elegantly and smoothly can really save you a lot of time, alleviate a lot of risk, and just make life generally more pleasurable. These guys running businesses have so many things that require their attention. Why do they need to focus and worry about compliance?
Right. Absolutely. Very cool. And what are the best ways for people to connect with you guys, Nick?
If you want to see about us or learn a little bit about the company, obviously the website, www.fleetdrive360.com. We have a presence on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, all with the name Fleet Drive 360. And then also via phone, 470-598-1501. You can get us directly. You can get me on the phone if you want to speak to me personally. But just give us a ring and just ask questions. We're here to help. We're here to help make your life easier. And I think we've got a solution that can save you a lot of time and a lot of money.
Awesome. And this is the last question here I ask all of my guests. So what would you say as a final word of advice for our friends out there listening or watching today?
Well, you hear the words return on investment all the time, especially with what's going on in the economic world, the stock market. But we don't often talk about return on attention. And that's kind of frustrating because time is a finite resource. It is the only finite resource. So as business owners and managers, we juggle issues. We decide what we want to address. We decide what we want to put off until later. And the issue is, as challenges multiply, things can get missed. Now, with respect to compliance, those missed items, and you mentioned them earlier, significant fines, lost revenue, out of service orders. And I mean, technology, it's not the answer to all of our problems, but the right technology used in the right ways can save us thousands of dollars and hours each week. And going back to our platform and our solution, Andy, it alerts you to problems before they happen. It streamlines your hiring process, and it gives you a digital record keeping system that can scale with your business. So you can take that time you would be spending on compliance, 3 to 4 hours our client spends just sending emails every week, and you can focus on other things that would drive revenue or better empower your team to grow and scale.
Absolutely. And I've been involved with trucking tech for about 25 years, and I've seen a massive impact with clients. I mean, it's incredible what you can do. Of course, nobody loves change, but when you do it in a good way, right, with good support, good processes, the changes can be absolutely extraordinary. So,
and I mean, I'm getting on an airplane first of the year. I'm flying up to a client. And we're scanning their documents, all their paper documents. We're scanning them in personally. We're loading them into the system for them. You give us your passwords to existing software, and we'll bring everything over in it. It's that pain of changing that we can alleviate as well. So not to beat a dead horse on it, but I'm really excited, if you can't tell, about what we have to offer. I'm really proud of the passion for the team, and I think we can help a lot of people.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love the excitement. I can tell. So thank you again for joining me today, Nick. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for your time, Andy.
You bet. That's going to do it for this episode. Thanks for watching or listening, everybody, and we'll see you again soon. Take care.